Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me today. This is Amelia Murphy. Welcome back to Restream. We're getting back on track today. Last week was the holidays, so I gave myself a break. I'm sure you were enjoying the day off, the day away from work. Um, I was enjoying cottage life and, yeah, rather enjoying it. So we're back on track today. There's absolutely no reason I can think of why you wouldn't be joining us live today because, of course, it's an off day for the Blue Jays. So if there's no baseball, there's no reason for you not to tune in today to hear about our amazing topic. All right, so I am aware there might be a hockey game if you like hockey. You know. Anyhow, I totally understand. This is the sort of video that you might be watching on the replay. So go Leafs go. Not a huge hockey fan, but I do understand that my diehard hockey fans out there might have found more important things to do with their evening than watching me talk about real estate here today. But that's okay. I'm Daryl Murphy. I'm your neighborhood realtor, and honestly, I might this might be the last time that I introduce myself as a neighborhood realtor because um, I had a conversation with one of my clients, um, and I'm actually really, it was a really touching conversation. I was talking with Rebecca, one of, I was working with a great couple, trying to help them find a place. Of course, they're expecting their first kid. I was talking to Rebecca, and she says, you're constantly calling yourself the neighborhood realtor, but every time you're telling me about a client, you're always telling me about this family. I was telling about this couple or this family who you're helping, and you always light up whenever you're helping. When you mention the couple that you're helping and you help them find a house, and you know that just seems to be who you want to help. So why aren't you the family guy? And I said, well, for obvious reasons, I'm not calling myself the family guy, but I I was touched. I was like worried at first when she said, like, why are you calling yourself the neighborhood realtor? I'm like, well, I'm the neighborhood guy. I love my town. I love my neighborhood. I love plugging my local my local businesses. But she made a point, and I was really touched to hear her say it. So you know what? Probably going to slip that in there because that really is where my heart is with helping families, and that's one of the reasons I made a big career change because I wanted to help some real people. Turns out those real people, they're family folks. Um, they identify with me. I identify with them. We have some common struggles. Um, so today, going along with that theme, I have an amazing guest today, someone who is very near and dear to my heart. We have the esteemed Amelia Murphy is going to join us today. That's right. She's my daughter. She's the youngest of my three daughters. And we're going to talk today about, okay, so she's a little cutie pie. You can probably hear her in the background. Let's bring her on camera. She's a little cutie pie. But there's some serious, a serious point to the discussion. Um, Let me give you a little bit of history about myself. Um, like I said, I have three daughters, um, and my oldest daughter, at least, has probably moved. I was trying to do the count earlier today. Um, when I was a student, my wife and I had Amelia when I was. Sorry, we had Jessica, my oldest daughter. Was in the second year of my undergrad degree. As a student, we moved all the time. It was like every year we were moving. She's probably moved with us 6 times. But and my other daughters too. I had Cassie joined us when I was just finishing up my first master's degree, um, and there was one thing that we always made sure we did with all this moving stuff, we always involve our kids in the move. Now, that doesn't mean they got to say, what kind of rent we were paying, of course, but we always want to make sure that we were sensitive to their perspectives when it came to moving, and we appreciated that there's probably some anxiety with them. Sometimes it meant changing schools. It meant changing their environment. So, granted, Amelia has not been around to enjoy all the joys of moving, and not near as many moves, at least, as Jessica has joined us on. But our discussion today with Amelia is going to give us like a little insight into the kids' perspective on moving and relocating, buying a house, and what it's like to see mommy and daddy probably under a little stress and making big decisions about where they're going to live, which of course is a huge decision. So we're gonna have some fun with it, of course, but there's a serious message, or at least a serious issue in the background that I do encourage my family clients, which is like all of them. I encourage all my clients to keep this issue in the back of their mind, and that is, what is the kid's perspective? How do they feel about the move? And let's think about why it matters. So Amelia is going to join us right after we play the theme song. We'll talk to you soon. All right, so here we are with our guest, Amelia, amazing kid. No, I made sure I put that into the header there. So let's get started. And like I say, this discussion isn't meant to be, I don't begin to think that Amelia is representative of everyone's kid. The point is, your kids, I'm sure, they're having feelings and emotions and thoughts. If you're thinking about moving and it's the discussion around the dinner table, then chances are really good that your kids, because they're smart. If you're a parent, they're smart, and they're taking in more than we give them credit for very often. And so they're probably having thoughts and feelings and emotions, and they probably want to be involved in the discussion. So I'm a big proponent of including them in the discussion, even if you're not, of course, including them in the final decision. It's not like they're going to help you choose your mortgage broker, but maybe important to give them a say or to hear what they have to say about what they want when, or what they might be thinking when it comes to moving. So how you doing, Amelia?
Good.
Excellent. So it just so happens, right, Amelia, Mom and I have been thinking off and on about moving. How does that make you feel, Millie?
Kind of excited and kind of nervous because I'm gonna have to meet new people, and excited because I'm gonna see new things and have a new place.
A new place?
Uh-huh.
What do you think when you think of a new place?
I'm thinking a new backyard, a new room, and a new house.
A new house.
Uh-huh.
A new room.
Uh-huh.
So, do you like your room now?
Uh-huh.
What do you like about your room now?
That everything is a walk space away. You don't have to go very far. And that my oh my god, I never remember the name of it. Oh my god.
It's no reason to be shy. That's the thing that holds clothes. That's your dresser suite.
I like that my dresser is right by the end of my bed because it
Okay.
feels easier of getting close. And I like that my desk is like kind of like close to my door, so I can just like walk through the door in my turn.
Now you know, right, that if we were to move and to buy a new house, you have your own room.
Mm-hmm.
We'd be that's one thing we would be able to do, and you know that's in some cases, some people may be thinking if they're going to move, maybe their the kids, their brothers and sisters, you might be sharing a room, but you would, in your situation, you would have your own room because of course you have bigger sisters and they are living on their own, going to school and stuff, right? But my point is, if we move to a new house, we make sure that your desk and your dresser and your bed, they all fit in the same space. So that's not something that would change. No, you would be able to decorate your room, right? But we can paint it, make it color. What other stuff do you think is really important about your house?
Um, I would say the front yard, I guess.
The
I don't
front yard. What about inside the house?
um, the place for like the family room, I guess you call it.
Okay. Is there anything about the room that's important to you in particular?
That we all kind of have like a space that like the area like where like this big toy thingy is kind of like where I can like play, and where the couch is kind of like where you guys can have
Yeah.
conversations and watch shows.
Sure.
And
Well, none of that stuff is going to change. It's going to change if we move. Now, one of the things that might change, and a lot of other kids have to deal with this, right? When their moms and dads decide that it's time, or when their parents decide that it's time to move, a lot of times it means you'll have to go to a new school. What do you think about the prospect of going to a new school?
I find it kind of exciting and nervous. The reason I'm excited is because I get to meet new people and new faces and like have fun at the new school. But the reason I would be nervous is because you don't know a lot of people. You don't really know like the prospect of doing everything and like putting your bag up and sitting somewhere and
Yeah.
stuff like
Now, you know what? One thing we didn't mention, we didn't tell everyone. How old are you, Amelia, and what grade are you in?
that. I am grade 3 and I am 9 years old.
Excellent. Now, I knew that. I knew you were grade 3, and I knew you're 9 years old. I didn't forget. But it's good sometimes to share. And we're thinking, you're kind of, in a way, you're like representing all the 9-year-olds. Not really, but we're getting an opinion of a 9-year-old, and that's important, right? Because you're gonna have some things that make you nervous. Now, do you think there's anything that would make you less nervous about moving?
Um,
Like, what if you could visit the school before you had to go and attend the school as a student? What if you got to sort of just go and walk around, or maybe what if you got to meet your teacher or something like that?
that would make me less. I would say something that would make me less nervous was that, like, if I was able to like visit the school before I got to be a student, like having someone there with me, like one of my parents, like you or like
Okay.
my sister or something.
You think that maybe if we were able to like show you around the school? Yeah, well, we probably have to go there and figure out the school a bit ourselves too. What if we were able to meet with a teacher and maybe even introduce you to some of your students? Would that help your classmates?
That would help me as well because like know a few people in the class, and I don't have to be like, "Hi, what's your name?" and like the whole process at like recess. I already like met some of those like people.
Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe know someone that would be helpful, wouldn't it? Excellent, excellent. So, do you think um, you you understand that different kids have different feelings when it comes to situations like moving and starting in a new school, right? Yeah. Do you think there's um, do you think there's things that you would find easy that maybe other kids would think is hard about starting, about moving,
Um,
in a new neighborhood and stuff?
uh, I think the thing that I would find uh, easier is starting like at like the beginning of the year, not like in the middle, because then you don't have to like do like the middle, like the math like they're already in the middle of like the year. If you like start at the beginning of the year, you get to like ease your way into like the math
Okay, yeah,
and like the reading and stuff like that.
that makes sense. That makes sense. And then you could start school with all the other people that you went to school with at the same time. Okay, okay. What about the neighborhood? What about the neighborhood where you're gonna live? What's important to you about the neighborhood? Because Mommy and I are thinking about all sorts of different stuff when it comes to the neighborhood.
Um, I would say
Like, is there something you'd like to be close that you get to go to, or is there some, I don't know?
kind of like we are right here. I would kind of like a park that's like walking distance
Yeah, yeah.
because like
Parks
that
are
would
good.
because that would be like nice in like the oh my god summertime and
Yeah.
springtime. And I would also like to have like a little space between like this is our house, this is the next door neighbor's house, like some space because like I can like play on like the driveway then and
Yeah.
like the grass and this isn't really in our control, but to like live by like nice people, like not technically like people we know.
Well, there's some things that we like to do around our house. Are there some things that would be important to you to be able to do around the house? Sometimes we've looked at houses, uh, and some of them maybe on busy streets. We look at the busy street and we're like, you know what? You wouldn't be able to ride your bike on the street in front of the house. But sometimes there's things that you can do. You might be able to do like in the backyard or something that you wouldn't be able to do in another neighborhood. Is there something outside you want to be able to do?
um, I would like to be able, since I like to rollerblade now, and I just learned how to, I would like to be able to do that on the road, and also to be able to ride my scooter and bike on like the road or something.
Excellent. Good point. Good point. Rollerblading. I wasn't thinking about rollerblading. I know you like rollerblades and you're just getting on them,
Mhm,
getting sturdy on them.
mhm.
Excellent. So, what else? Is there anything else you want um, to say, or is that about it? I want to make sure that is there some sort of feeling that we haven't talked about, or some sort of issue that you want to talk about Mommy and Daddy with when we were talking about moving or finding a new house?
Uh, I don't. mm, Uh, I don't. Uh, don't think so.
It's okay. You know what, Melly? I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your thoughts about moving. I think it's really important to include everyone's opinions when it comes to where you're going to live, because when it comes to where you're going to live, that's a big thing. It has a lot to do with how happy you feel and how comfortable you feel. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So I'm going to wrap up our conversation. What do you think? Is that all right? All right. Thank you for joining me today.
You're welcome.
All right. Awesome.
Bye.
Well, folks, I think that's for the conversation, and probably having a conversation that's ongoing with your kids when it comes to moving, when it comes to the sorts of changes in their lives that they're going to have to anticipate and adapt to. I think it's really important. And like I said, it's not really a matter of, you know, allowing your child to dictate what decisions you make as an adult when it comes to important things like investing in a home. What it is, I think you can't help but think, and I've had these conversations with some families that have helped. I can't help but think that just having an understanding and having the conversation with your child can allow you to anticipate some of the anxieties, some of the challenges that your kids may be having, and they're not sharing with you as they're going through the moving process. I think it's important, and it's just like moving. I'm saying this to your family this weekend. Moving kind of sucks, and be the first to admit it, because it can be stressful. One of the ways that it can be stressful is because your kids at home, you got to drag your kids through the process, and they're going through their own emotions. They're going through their own, they're questioning what's going on, just like you are. So while you're trying to organize the moving van, organize the movers, while you're trying to make your purchase, deal with the conditions on your offer, doing all the house buying stuff, your kids are right there with you. They're watching you go through the process, and they're having their own feelings about it too. I always suggest to my clients that they try to get on top of what those emotions might be, just as a way of making the whole process easier, not only for them, but for you, right? Sometimes it's about being creative. I'm thinking, I've had in the past, I've had families, and one of the things I'm thinking of this particular story, one of the issues that this family had, well, they listened to what I suggested, and they and they were concerned about their kids' wants. And one of the things their kids wanted, well, their kids wanted a trampoline in the backyard, and they were worried that the backyard that they could afford wasn't big enough to hold a trampoline. And I said to them, like, you know what? Maybe, just maybe it's not so important, because they're thinking this big thing in a net with these posts, this like 10 foot diameter trampoline. So maybe, it's enough to acknowledge that you were listening to what the kids were asking for, and maybe, go out, buy them just one of the little 3 foot diameter little trampolines that people use in like the exercise classrooms, and I bet you they will love you forever for that little token, and it shows that you're listening. And you know what? Next time, when you're moving onward and upward, maybe that's when you can get the big giant trampoline and have all the neighborhood kids come over and bounce their guts out. But for the time being, might be a big step in the right direction and make your kids realize that you're listening to what they're saying, and in so doing, putting their concerns at ease just by making that token gesture, saying, hey, I'm being creative. You asked for a trampoline, you got a trampoline. Maybe not the trampoline you had in mind, it's a trampoline. Right? It's that sort of thing, right? Being able to be responsive to your kids' needs is more important than allowing them to dictate the decisions. And you're not going to be able to be responsive like that without having the discussions like what I just had with Amelia. We're gonna have more discussions like that. And like I say, Amelia doesn't represent every child. Amelia just represents Amelia. But the point is, and that's really what Amelia is on today, part of your priority setting process when it comes to the search for a property, I strongly advise that you include your children in discussions, even if it's only a matter of letting them have a say, even if they don't necessarily have a choice. They're not voting, and it will help. It will help them feel more comfortable with the whole process. And if they're more comfortable with the process, well, I think you'll find that relieving some of that anxiety will relieve some of your own anxiety in turn. Anyhow, that's my bit of parenting advice. That's my bit of real estate parenting advice. I was happy to have this discussion. I'm glad you joined us today. If you're watching the hockey game right now, I don't know if it's even started yet, to be honest, but I'm hoping that my information, this bit of advice, is meaningful to you. I hope the advice that I offer on Mondays are helpful. If so, please don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button. Next week, we're going to do, I'm going to do the May market review. So we'll be talking about the numbers and how this crazy market is unfolding in the month of May in this 2021. So I hope you'll join me next week. I do want to add a couple more things. So number one, when it comes to the challenge, it really is a challenge lately for buyers, especially buyers with families, to come up with a priority list. And to come up with a priority list that fits their budget. If this has been a challenge for you, I know a lot of young families right now, a lot of families in general right now, are really finding themselves struggling with this market because they feel as if the needs of their family, trying to fulfill the needs of their family in this particular market, finding something that fits their budget, that has been a real challenge lately. So much so that I have put together a small workshop. It's scheduled for an hour. It might go over, it might not. We'll see how it goes. But I call it how to find. It's a long title. It's how to find the house you need within the budget you have, or something like that. I invite you. It's a free workshop. I invite you to join. I share a number of different strategies with the participants as to how they can, first of all, unlock some of the value that they have right within themselves, right? So that they can use some of their personal skills and attributes to help them determine what should be, it doesn't have to be a priority in their property search. We talk about how, what it is you're really paying for when it comes to buying a house. And that allows, and at least it has in the past, has allowed clients to better focus their search for a property on properties that include only what they really need, and in so doing, they're able to come down to properties, focus on properties that ideally they can afford given a reasonable budget. There's going to be a link to the registration page in the description of this video in short order. So please join me. The workshop is free. I'd love to have you out. I'd love to share with you some of the strategies that I've developed over the, in some of my experience. Again, thanks for tuning in. A little bit, dragging out. Oh yes, one more thing. I am hosting a virtual, believe me guys, I'd love to make this a real live event, with like people and camaraderie and handshakes, hugs and stuff. I only wish I could do that. Hopefully, the next time we do this, I'll be able to do it that way. But I'm hosting a virtual pub trivia night. I will also include the link to that virtual pub trivia night. It is a fundraiser for such an important cause. It's to support Gillian's house. Believe me, as the father of 3 daughters, I am intensely aware of the statistics with respect to domestic violence. Uh, Gillian's Place is an incredible resource, just such an important cause uh, to battle and give needy women and their children shelter, um, especially in high tense. It's heartbreaking. I almost don't even want to talk about some of the issues, especially considering my beautiful little girl is sitting right beside me. She doesn't need to worry about these things just yet. But here's the thing. I'm doing a fundraiser to support Gillian's Place. It's a virtual pub trivia night. The idea is we're going to have some fun. We're going to play some trivia. I'm going to drink on my side. I'm going to drink on your side. We'll have a blast. There will be prizes. I'll include the link. All the registration fees, I'm asking $10 per registration. All those proceeds are going to Gillian's Place to support their important facility and their cause. So join me for that. I don't remember the date off the top of my head, but I'll put the date in the description. So those are my 2 things: the workshop, the fundraiser. Hope to see you again. Again, join me next week. We'll talk about the main review. Hit the like, please. Hit the subscribe. I'm happy to share with you information as we go forward. I'm tuning that right now. Thanks again, guys. If you are watching me, go watch the Leafs game. Hopefully, there'll be another one after tonight. We'll talk to you later. See you next week. Bye-bye.